So we're going to talk about our preventative maintenance, talk about some fluids and fluid service. The first thing that we'll go through, I'm going to switch back over to the note sheet here in a moment. We are going to talk about each of these fluids briefly and what their symbol is so you can help identify them underneath the hood. Okay, so 1 through 12 will actually be on this sheet here. Okay, so as we go through this, you'll notice that there are two words and there's a symbol. I will be going through each one of them here for you. Okay, this one here looks like your windshield washer. That's because it is your windshield washer fluid. Okay, this one looks like a battery. That one is your battery fluid. This little tea kettle with the oil drop, that one is your engine oil. If you were to look on the oil fill cap or in a check engine light, you would see that possibly on your dash if that area was in need. Come down here to this one. This is your coolant. This is a big square piece with a little cap on the top. Looks like a radiator. This would identify your coolant. Okay? This would also might be a check engine light that you also have on the dash. Now, this looks like a little gas pump. Bet you guessed it's gasoline. Okay? This one here is remnants of our calipers, which are part of our brake system. Now, DOT3 fluid, okay, is specifically for brake fluid. However, in manual transmissions, it could also be the clutch fluid depending on that vehicle. Okay, I can't show you this in the shop because we only have automatic cars in the shop. Come down to the next one. Okay, this is for our differential fluid. This is F stands for front and R stands for rear. Now, if we come up over here, we talked a little bit ago about the DOT3 could be your brake or it could be your clutch. Those gears indicate your transmission, so that one is a clutch fluid. Okay, your transmission fluid, okay, has the T and a gear. We talked about the gears up here being a mechanical type transmission or your clutch. Okay, T and that gear is your transmission fluid. In your vehicles, when you are checking this, you might see something with just a gear on it in various spots. Now, this image down here, it looks like a steering wheel. That's because it is our power steering fluid indicator. Okay? There is two cars in the shop that will actually have a steering wheel of some sort on its fluid fill cap that you will need to check. Your R134A is a refrigerant. This is for your air conditioning system. In our very early on during the vehicle identification lab, we had to look up refrigerant on that emissions label underneath the hood. R134A is a refrigerant for the air conditioning system. Okay, now next, number 13. When we check this, okay, why is money spent for preventative maintenance or routine maintenance smarter than neglecting the vehicles until they fail? Okay, the reason for this, okay, you can express this in your own words, but you can either spend the money to do routine maintenance throughout the life of the vehicle, or you can wait till you have a catastrophic failure. A major pump goes out, your engine goes out, something major happens, and you can spend big dollars fixing a major repair, or you can spend a little bit of money as you go on routine maintenance. Okay? Now, routine maintenance isn't always cheap, but it's better than a catastrophic failure. Okay? You need to put that in your own words for number 13. Okay? I'm going to switch back over to the lecture sheet, and then we will continue on through the rest of these. As we go through, I'm going to point out some different fluids here just to give you a visual representation. Okay, you have your engine oil that is here. Zerex is a type of coolant. ATF stands for automatic transmission fluid. Okay, so here's your transmission flush that would go with that transmission fluid. You have power steering fluid. You have manual transmission fluid. You have automatic transmission fluid. This one specifically for Honda. This one is for GM vehicles. You have your brake fluid. This one's a DOT4. Okay, this is your battery electrolyte. Note the corrosive on here. Okay, you have some gear oil for your rear differentials. This is that 134A refrigerant that goes into your AC systems. Notice how this DOT4 says brake and clutch fluid. If that vehicle was to take, has a manual transmission, it might take DOT4 for both clutch and brake fluid. And you could use this for both. SAE 90, this is a 90 weight gear oil, something that would be in a rear end of your trucks and large SUVs. Windshield washer fluid is typically blue. Okay, this is the one we just talked about. You can pay now or you can pay later. And you're putting into your own words all of these maintenances and checks versus ignoring them and having a major failure in your vehicle. Okay. Number 14, if you add too much oil, and you don't check the dipstick and you just dump oil in there, adding too much oil, okay, oil foaming will occur. Oil foaming will occur. Okay. This reduces lubrication. Think about if you have water or milk or something and you shake it up and all those air bubbles get inside. Okay. Those air bubbles do not lubricate. Okay. If you have air and oil, oil lubricates, air does not. That's how it reduces lubrication. Number 14, if too much oil is added to the engine, that foaming will occur, which we just talked about. This shows you the microscopic level. Okay. How does the foaming happen? Well, all these moving parts are going, and it'd be just like you shaking up a bottle of water or a bottle of juice or whatever it is. It will create those air bubbles. Number 15, engine oil should be changed when the engine is warm to ensure that more contaminants are suspended in the oil and drained out. What that means is like when you get that thing of chocolate milk and all that chocolatey goodness is at the bottom, you want to shake it up so all that chocolate is suspended inside of your milk so you can enjoy it. Same concept with the oil. Gravity brings all the heavy contaminants down to the bottom, and when you run your vehicle to operating temperature, all that sludge and debris is in the middle of the oil so that when you drain your oil, all of it comes out. Your automatic transmission fluid is checked when warm in some vehicles, and some transmissions will need to be in park, others will be in neutral, and the engine idling and the vehicle located on a flat surface. And this is to check transmission fluid. Now, go ahead and highlight 16 on your sheet because you will need to answer this question for your lab sheet. Each vehicle is going to be different, so you'll have to look in your respective service manual or owner's manual how to check this if your vehicle needs to be checked or inspected. Number 17, some transmissions and transaxles, okay, are factory sealed to design never to need fluid replacement under normal use. Now, this comes with an asterisk. All fluid does break down over time, and if you ask any shop or any seasoned mechanic, they will tell you these fluids need to be serviced to be maintained throughout the life of the vehicle. Okay. Number 18, posi traction or limited slip differentials require special additives to their lubricants. Okay. Now I probably do need to update this a little bit. Okay. Rear ends and your gear oils typically have all those additives included at this time. Okay. But your limited slip differentials or posi traction might require a certain additive. Now, if you have an older vehicle, you might have to get a specific additive for that year, make, and model. Okay, number 19 is a big one. Never open up a radiator cap on a hot engine. Okay, it looks really funny in the movies when they open it up and the scalding hot water goes flying into their face. Okay, but that's not good for us. Okay, it makes good comedy on TV, but your engine operates between 200 and 240 degrees. You can get severely burned when you take off this radiator cap. These are a couple different styles of radiator caps. I will point this out to you when we get into the lab. Number 20, hydraulic clutch and brake fluid are the same, DOT3, but they could be located in different reservoirs. Okay. The reservoir here is just a master cylinder, okay, and I'll point that out once we get into the shop. Okay, batteries are often sealed and maintenance free. Okay, you can check the electrolyte by observing the eye in the top of the case. It can be green, black, or yellow. We don't have any of these here in the shop, but as all of you have known, because you've had the battery service lab, we clean our batteries with baking soda if we need to neutralize any acid that's on them. 22, a grease or lube job is done to lubricate high friction points. high friction points, okay, in the steering and suspension. You might see little pieces like this. These are called Zerk fittings, Z-E-R-K, and they are usually on the end of a piece with a rubber boot. And what that does is it pushes grease in here. And think of a shoulder or hip joint. It's just a ball and socket joint. It puts grease in here so they can move freely without wearing down these parts. If we come under here, you'll see the grease zerks underneath this vehicle in that same pivot point. Okay, you have the ball and socket here, and this will move around, allowing this port and this part to move freely in the vehicle. If you were to look under the front end of your vehicle, different suspension points that are here and some of their common terms. Number 23, a service interval is a recommended amount of time in months or mileage between service checks or preventative maintenance. We talked about question 13, okay? Routine maintenance versus a major catastrophic failure. On this one here, it's saying use Dex coolant only, okay? And the coolant does not require maintenance for 5 years or 150,000 miles. Well, if you just keep driving on this, you never ever change this. Okay? There can be calcium buildup inside your cooling system that you would never know about until your radiator fails or your engine fails to cool. Okay? If you get this maintained at regular intervals, you can clean all that junk out and maintain a healthy cooling system. This is another maintenance chart for a vehicle, okay, multi-point inspection every 6 months, and then every so many thousands of miles. This one here is for a Ford Focus, okay, at 30,000 miles, you need to inspect the fluid, the cooling system and hoses, the wheel end play, inspect the brakes, brake lines, parking brake system, steering linkage, ball joint, suspension, half shafts, and drive shafts, and any of your U-joints on that vehicle. And you're just inspecting. But you should replace your transmission fluid, engine oil, inspect your tires and rotate, replace the cabin air filter, and replace the fuel filter. Okay, all these are routine maintenance items at that specific mileage interval. Number 24, visual inspection of belts, hoses, and wiring. Belts, hoses, and wiring, tires, steering, and exhaust parts should be done during any service or repair to identify small problems before they become big emergencies. And we'll talk a little bit about not so much the wires anymore, but you do have serpentine belts and you do have hoses, your cooling hoses and whatnot on your vehicle that need to be checked. Now, this is one that you'll see me do when we first talking about fluids in the shop, okay? Knowing the color, the smell, and the feel or texture of fluids can help you identify leaks. Not only can it help you identify leaks, but it can tell you, hey, what fluid is it and where is it coming from, okay, on the vehicle. Because if your car is parked out in the evening in your driveway and you walk out and there's fluid underneath, you're not going to really know what color it is. You can get out a flashlight, but it's dark and it's cold out, but you can feel it and smell it, and every fluid will have a distinct color, feel, and smell. All right, the EPA, Environmental Protection Agency, requires recycling of all waste metals and fluids and vehicle parts to help the environment. Okay. If you need to recycle your engine oil because you want to change your own oil, you can just take that used oil to any Napa, O'Reilly, or AutoZone, and they can dispose of it for you. Your coolant will need the green stuff or red stuff would need to go to your local waste management facility to properly recycle it. Okay, and that should be the end of this lecture.